Welcome to Delmarva Urban Chat. I'm the host of the show, Demetria Marshall Leonard, and I want to say thank you for allowing me to come into your living room and grace your presence. We did have some events that was happened over the weekend, and I hope you guys got out and celebrated. We heard Beyonce was in town. The governor gave her, I want to say, a proclamation or Beyonce Day. And shout out to everybody that went. I hope everybody got back home safely. And just want to say thank you. Thank you for allowing us to come into your living room. Today we have with us the Executive Director of the Christian Shelter, Pastor Anthony Dickerson. And some of you may already know, the homelessness is something dear to my heart. So it is something that I am proactive in and being an advocate. So we want to just say we want to thank him and allow him to come into your living room just like you allow me. And without further ado, we're going to introduce Pastor Anthony Dickerson. Hello. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for being here. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, it's not too much to know. I was born and raised in Salisbury, Maryland. I'm an alma mater of Wycomico Senior High, and I went on to further my studies at the International Bible Seminary in Orlando, Florida. I have been preaching ever since the age of 16. And I grew up in the church. My grandmother, raised by my grandmother, and she made sure that I was well educated in the church. Let's see what else. And as a young boy, again, I made some mistakes, some challenges, but I always hold dear to my faith.
Right.
I was ordained a full-fledged minister by the late Dr. Chappelle Mills, and basically I am a son of the First Baptist Church, where now Reverend Dr. Lewis Watson is the pastor. So. And there I grew up there, and then went on to pastor it was formerly known as Mount Olive Baptist Church. It's now the Greater Mount Olive Full Gospel Baptist Church, and I've been there for 27 years.
Wow.
I was consecrated a bishop through my spiritual father, Bishop Larry D. Trotter, out of Chicago. He is my spiritual father in 2014. So we celebrated 8 years in the episcopacy. I was the bishop at intercessory prayer. And now I'm with the new apostolic order, where Bishop Roger Phillips is the presiding prelate, and I serve as the general secretary. And again, I have two roles there, and also the bishop of intercessory prayer in that capacity. And basically, what we're doing is that we're teaching the people. We're teaching a lot of people about the importance of the episcopacy and so forth. And also our mission is to write the canon laws. As you know, canon laws were not meant for the African Americans. It was meant for the Catholic Church. And so we're in the process of writing a book of canon laws, and that's going to be a major undertaking, and really teach the people the importance of the episcopacy and that order. And then I'm a bivocational pastor. My passion is workforce development. I have the highest certification that someone that can achieve is called the GCDF, GCDF stands for global career development and facilitator. That means I can go anywhere. My credentials is recognized anywhere in the world. We have to have 75 hours of continuing education. And so again, we teach individuals the importance of workforce development and so forth. And I was, my last job that I had was working for the Career Center. And that's where I ran an ex-offenders program. That's where I met a lot of ex-offenders, a lot of people that associated with gang activities and so forth. I helped a lot of people on the streets to get jobs and to show them a better way. And then when an opportunity came for me to get hired at the Christian Shelter, I took advantage of that opportunity to become the executive director, and I've been there now for 4 years. Yeah, it's going on 4 years, and I love it. Yeah.
A couple of questions.
Yes.
What is your denomination?
Basically, it's Full Gospel Baptist, and as Full Gospel, we believe in the total man. Your traditional Baptist church, sometimes they're challenged in believing in the gifts of the Spirit. So, Full Gospel, we kind of embrace the gift of the Spirit, and we embrace the gift of the Holy Spirit, and so forth. So technically, I'm a believer. There's no such thing as denomination.
Okay, and holiness is not a denomination.
Absolutely, it's a lifestyle.
That is our church motto.
Yep.
So, and you mentioned that you were a bishop, and I study my word. I study my word.
Right.
So, could you let me know I know that bishop is not a part of the fivefold ministry. Why do people put the bishop over the fivefold ministry in the westernized in the westernized church? I want to know that.
Well, technically you have two offices of the church. You have the deacon, and you have the bishop. Those are.
I know they're not an office. The bishop is not a fivefold ministry. Right. It's an office. It's something that is desired by that individual. An individual that is married to one wife. That it's like in the westernized civilization, they put the bishop, like the church, put them over the pastor. I never understood that.
Well, it's an office, and it's basically the order of God. God has an order, and so the bishop is over the pastor, but does not control the pastor. So that's when we talk about over somebody, it's basically he's over there for guidance, there for mentorship, but he does not control the pastor. It's someone that the pastor can look up to. So basically, that bishop
like a
is
mentor.
Absolutely.
Okay,
absolutely.
thank you.
Yep.
So, and another thing, right? Dealing with the homeless population in Salisbury. I not too long ago been a couple of months now, went to a city council meeting, and it was crazy, but I just want to let the viewers know how much of an effect that homelessness has on the individual. What is your take on the homeless population in Salisbury? How can the viewers help and be more aware of what's going on in the community? I want to I hate it. I really do. I hate it, and I wish there was a button that we could just solve everything, but there isn't. So what are the steps that we could take to like be more aware, be more mindful, and be more helpful to the people that are less fortunate?
So let's define the definition of homeless. Now, when we think of homeless, we think of homeless as someone that is without a home or without a place to stay. I want to take it a step further. Homelessness comes about is when people do not have the necessary skills to thrive. They don't have those. They don't have those coping skills. And so, I'm convinced there's only one problem in the world. There's not a drug problem. There's not a poverty problem. There's not home. There's only one problem, and that's a wisdom problem.
Right.
And we don't have enough wisdom to make the choices that we need in making our daily selections of life. And so with that being said, I think we have to go back to the basics. You know, we're dealing with a different generation, and there's a whole different generation of homelessness now. You know, we're seeing a lot of young people that are experiencing homelessness. I'm seeing a lot of families that are experiencing homeless, and sometimes they're experiencing homelessness because, again, they don't make the necessary decisions, and really they were not ready. They were not ready to have a family because God didn't intend for us to raise for a single mother or a single father to raise that child by themselves.
It's supposed to be
And it's expensive, yes. And so it's expensive in raising a child. So 9 times out of 10, when a child is born into a single mother, that child is born into poverty. So one of the things is that this generation is going to have to listen to wise counsel, because there are people here who's been where they're trying to go. And if they would just take the time to listen, then that could save them a lot of hardship. I know sometimes they because you know the things that I get. Oh, I'm grown. You don't tell me what to do. It's okay, because you know what I tell people, what I tell even the guests at the shelter, what you won't learn through me, you'll learn through pain. Because pain has a way of teaching. So with that being said, what can we do? It has to start from home. It has to start from home. We gotta go back to old school, and spending time with our children, telling our children who they are, reading to our children.
Part.
Well, reading to our children, spending time with our children, so that they won't grow up and not knowing who they are. So we have to go back to the basics. We've got to go back. You know, as the song said, we got to go back to the old landmark. You know, we can't throw out the baby with the bathwater. And we have to. And the Bible says, train up a child in the way they should go, and when they grow old, they shall not depart. We're not training our children. That's the bottom line. And so when we fail to do what God has commissioned us to do, when we fail the order of God, we get the fruit of that order.
My God.
You know, and the Bible says, "Be not deceived, God is not mocked. Whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap." And so that is the reaping. When you don't do it God's way, you're going to reap. You're going to reap that.
So, and that is true what you're saying. And what I have discovered in my research, mental illness has a great deal on the effect of homelessness. I had a sister that literally did not want to live in a house.
Mm-hmm.
She was considered not just mentally ill. She had challenges, and it was physical and mental. Well, she didn't want to live in a house.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted to be free. She wanted to be, she just wanted to be free.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a bunch of people that have that same mindset.
Right.
And not they're mentally ill. Not only they're mentally ill, they have many disabilities.
Right.
And they're homeless because they don't want to be inside of a house.
Mm-hmm.
They don't feel as though that it feel like a trap to them.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people. I've met people in the woods that are like that, under the bridge that are like that. They don't want no parts of dealing with anything that has to do with the government.
Yep.
That is a big problem to me. Some of these people, they get a check. They cannot receive their own check, but have a right to say they don't want to live in a house, and it causes burden on other people.
Yep.
They have that right to say that. I think that people, some people, should, in certain situations, there should be like a limitation on rights. Not to say take all your rights, but there should be a conditional, something that is conditional. Like you could do this if you do this. You could do this. It has to be something different. Because I say that to say this. I sent my sister, she did not want to be in a house. I cannot stress that. I sent her home on a bus.
Right.
And got her back in a box. I got her back in a box that sits in my guest room. To where when they found her, her body was decomposed. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So that is why my heart is so dear to just the homeless population. I've started a pantry, not even I. My church has started a pantry at our church. We go out and we do our part, and every little bit counts. It's like everybody can't do it all. The Christian shelter cannot supply room for everybody in Salisbury. They cannot provide room and board for everybody or shelter for everybody. They cannot feed everybody. The Halo can't feed everybody. Right. But if each one of us help, it could really make a difference.
Yeah. And here's the thing, Demetria. When a person doesn't know the difference between right and wrong, when they have challenge, I think at that point, they need to be institutionalized. They need to be kept safe.
And you know what? They have a right to say, this is where the laws come in at.
Right.
They have a right to say, they have not committed a crime. In the state of Maryland, like you have to commit a crime and this is like, this not just affect me, this affect everybody around me. Because these individuals, they can act out, they can go and do and I'm not calling them criminals.
Right.
They're not criminals. It's like we need extra help. Because for the mentally challenged, for the disabled, we need more funding, more programs, more people that are proactive in this situation.
Right.
It's because it's like they cannot if they commit a crime, then they go through the system. And that is not the type of help they need. Now, some of them go to like different homes and stuff if they can't stand trial. You know, they found, you know, they incompetent and can't stand trial. But then you got those who can stand trial but still don't need to be in an institution like a prison system, because it's not a rehabilitation system or a correctional facility that don't correct you. It's like a it don't. So when it comes to this topic, it really bothers me. It bothers me. It does something to me.
Yeah, and it's like in Salisbury. In Salisbury, you only have 2 private homeless shelters in Salisbury, and that's Christian Shelter and that's Halo. Halo and Christian Shelter, we don't get any government funds. We don't get any government funds because, again, we don't want to we don't want to come under subjection to what the government requires us to do when we get their money. And so basically what we need is we need more homeless shelters. In Salisbury, we need a homeless shelter for people that are homeless and have medical challenges. We need a homeless shelter. We need a homeless shelter for sex offenders. We need a homeless shelter for the mentally challenged. So you know, these are something that we need, or some type of facility that will house people with mental challenges or medical challenges. We need these facilities.
Yeah, correct. Some type of facilities.
Absolutely.
Some type of facilities, even reentry, for reentry, or like something that teach. Facilities that teach life skills, and that is very important. And I just think, like, if we just, it's enough of, I always say this, we done had enough speeches, enough, and no offense, I was at the prayer walk. We done had enough of that. Marching, they've been marching since Martin Luther King. Like, seriously. No shots fired. But we done had enough of that. It's time to be proactive. It's time to like take action. It's time to do something. Like, it's time to get it popping. So, okay. Got some more questions to ask you. What is your favorite music genre?
Gospel. Love gospel. I'm a gospel fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what type of, when you say gospel, what type of, is it Christian or just gospel?
Inspirational praise and worship. Love praise and worship. Choir songs, because I think choir music is dying out. We need to bring the choirs back.
Okay.
So I love the choir music, and the reason why that I love gospel music, because it really ministers to me. Sometimes I can be in a very dark place, and sometimes I can just put on some praise and worship, put on some gospel music, and it just causes me to refocus. And that's what I do when I have a challenge day. I'll just get alone, put my headphones on, and just let the music minister to me, and then it soothes me. It takes me to another place. So
yes, and music has a way of doing that.
Yep.
Some music can make you want to shake somebody, but then there's I call it my gospel music. I call it my peace music.
Yeah.
So y'all know what time it is. Yeah, y'all really know what time it is. It's time for In the Mix. And In the Mix is a game. It's just a simple game to where I start singing a song. Now, y'all know I can't sing. You know I sound like cans rattling and things. Like, seriously, somebody pulling something on the highway, and it sounds like a whole bunch of cats crying all at the same time. It's just round up in that. So, if you got headphones and you don't want to hear this part, please put your earphones on. Only my part, okay? So, he said he liked gospel music, and... We have come this far by faith.
Leaning on the Lord,
Trusting in His holy word. He never failed. He never failed me yet. I'm singing, oh, oh, can't turn around. We come this far by faith. Thank you. You like that, don't ya? Get my contract next week. I don't know what day, I don't know what hour, but it's gonna be sometime next week. It might be February the 32nd, I don't know. Okay, let's do one more. Now, since he got that one, it's his turn to start a song.
I love you, Lord, and I lift my voice to worship you. Oh, my soul, rejoice. Take joy, my King, in what you hear, and let it be a sweet, sweet sound in your ear.
We exalt thee, honey. So it is my turn. So like I need to get I got to sing some. La 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 la. La 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 la. Bells keep ringing in my soul. Joy bells keep ringing in my soul.
Joy bells,
joy bells, joy bells keep ringing in my soul. That was my mama's song. She was like, girl, I like, look, right. I used to get to sing it. And my mom had jokes. She'd come in the room. She'd be like, you alright? Why you crying? Why you crying? And I'd be singing that song. And I was not crying. I was trying to sing, y'all. I was not crying. She was like, you hurt? Dang. It's like, I thought something was going on there. And she had jokes. So I would have... I can't even say I want to thank y'all for coming and let me come into your living room without asking Pastor Anthony Dickerson, or should I say Bishop Anthony D. Dickerson. Y'all know the sister like to eat, yo. What is your favorite food? And where do you like to go to eat? Where do you like to take your wife to eat?
Cool, man. We go to Brew River, Outback, Red Lobster.
I need like
Olive
the
Garden.
favorite.
My favorite. Oh, my favorite.
So like you recommend me to go.
Take your pick. I love that restaurant.
Yo,
Take your pick.
You gonna eat your cornbread?
Yes, sir.
I love that fried
Yes,
fish.
I love fish. Yeah, that's my favorite food. I love trout. I love fish. Trout, fish, and rice, green, and I love that collard greens.
So the next time him and his wife go, and like they got to take me, cause like look, y'all know I like to eat, but I'm gonna go to Take Your Pick probably this afternoon to get something. I love Take Your Pick too, and shout out to everybody at Take Your Pick.
Yes.
Shout out to everybody.
Yeah.
Take Your Pick is very. We love Take Your Pick.
Yeah.
Me and my husband do. We do support them,
Yes.
and y'all continue to support local businesses. Continue to support the business in your community. It's okay to shop online, but please support local businesses.
Yes.
So, do you have any events coming up?
No, but if you would love to either volunteer at the shelter or donate some things at the shelter, we always need water, breakfast meat, tuna fish. I put it on my Facebook page what we needed. Breakfast meat, fruit juices. Those are ongoing needs of the Christian shelter. And if you if you want to volunteer, just come and sign up, fill out an application, and we'll be glad to serve you. Or if you would like to schedule a tour, we're doing tours of the Christian shelter because some of you have never been. And so if you would love to do a tour, you and your group or your church or your organization, feel free to give me a call at 410-749-5673 is the number you can dial, or you can go on our website, or you can hit me up on Facebook, either Christian Shelter or Anthony Dickerson. So we will be glad to have you. And if you want to give us, if you want to be a new donor of the Christian Shelter, you can also do that. So we would love to have you.
Thank you, Pastor, for everything. Thank you for coming on our show. Thank you for even taking time out. We know you're a very busy man, and we know you got to get back to doing your duties. And we just want to say thank you. And thank you guys for allowing us to come into your living room.
Yes.
Next, this evening, we'll have Megan Alton on the show. Or this week, we'll have Megan Alton on the show. So we'll see you soon. Deuces.